Retro Ray. Grayson, that's a nice name. Thank you very much for that. What kind of name is that? That is my name. I do not recall that. I do not recall that, okay? SDF, thank you for coming in today. You gonna finish the rest of that potion? Can I have that potion? Oh, they interrogated everybody. I got a low HP pool thing. It went on for months. It was a total fucking harassment. Tell them to proceed with the podcast. But not a single dev had an answer. New YouTube videos? Doesn't ring a bell. Sorry, I have no recommendation of that. New cosmetics? No, no idea. I don't recall that map request. Absolutely not. The second floor of Ice map you promised so many times. I just thought you might add that. I do not recall any of that. This no, I do not recall. I do not. It was a long time ago. I'm just wondering if you recall any of that. You know, we've talked to several of the other general chats in this Discord, and nobody can recall about any of the promises made for season 2. I think it's odd. Season 2 promises? Do you recall it? No, I don't recall it at all. Excuse me, I have to ask, is that your real class? Are you gonna say anything about that? Are you gonna have a comment on my class? Is this a personal question? I'm just curious as to why you would pick something like that. Alright, boys, this is just a quick video. I see on the Dark and Darker subreddit constant complaining all the time. People bitching. People don't understand. What's going on. People being frustrated with how the game works. And, yeah, it's kind of getting pretty crazy. That they haven't decided to change the game at all. So I have some interesting suggestions that I think would solve some of the problems for the devs, but I don't actually know if they're gonna work. But like I have some general overall ideas. So much like some other people that have given you their opinions and whatnot, I'll give mine. I feel like I'm way more rational than everyone else, and I'm not like a crackhead. So take that as you will. So like, I think overall changes that they need to do. I think multi-classing is fine if they make it like end of a wipe event. Me and Cheeto discussed this at length. I think the leaderboards for the AP, this is something me and Cheeto's also kind of discussed and came up with. I think the leaderboards for the AP need to be reverted to the previous system where you basically had 4 different types of leaderboards: kills, escapes, treasure collected, and all that. And I think you just need to hit like a certain percentage of players to get that threshold. So like imagine you had the 4 categories. To demonstrate this, I will open up Paint real quick. Imagine if you had the 4 categories. So you had like kills here, and then like AP from like treasure, we'll just call it treasure, TAP, and then like escapes maybe, and then like bosses. So like as long as you have like your 4 leaderboards or whatever, yeah, you can display the top 100 bullshit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. But as long as you get like a certain percentage of any 4 of these categories, so if you're in like let's say the top 5% seems reasonable if you're trying to get more people into Demi. But if you're trying to make it more exclusive, you drop it probably to like 1 to 3% or whatever. But as long as you reach the threshold of the percentage value of whatever they decide for any one of the types of playstyles they want to encourage, then you would be able to get your demigod. Because they want to encourage kills, but some people don't want to play that way. They want to encourage treasure farming, but some people don't want to play that way. They want to encourage you to mass escape and not take damage and all that, but some people don't want to play that way. They want you to boss. Some people don't want to boss. So if the system was like set up like this, where there's 4 different categories, like it was before, but like you only have to reach a percentage placement, so like the top percentage placement of whatever their things are, then everyone has a chance to play the way they want to, and everyone gets to do what they want. And then you don't have to worry about the nuances of like balancing trinket AP and mob AP. It's just flat out, here's your top 5 categories. You can even add like a mob kill category or whatever, just so people that want to turbo farm mobs or whatever. But like, yeah, as long as you're top 5% or like whatever, that will be thing for you. Lots of people have discussed this on the Reddit at length. I think they need to add random dungeon events. Like, if you ever played Kirby Air Ride, um, like in Kirby Air Ride, what would happen is like in the middle of the game while you're playing the most fun mode, if you want to call it that, the city mode or whatever. Like in the middle of the game, there would be like an event that would just appear in the game. A UFO would appear, and then you could go on top of the UFO. A little fucking egg thing would appear, and you break in, you get stuff, or like everyone would get like supercharged. Anyway, point being is they need to add random events into the middle of the dungeon. There needs to be like I think they need to increase the dungeon timer to double. I think they need to double the time that you're in the dungeon. I think it should be like a 30-minute, like the standard time should be 30-minute total raid. I think if they want to slow down the game, you make it 30 minutes. If they don't, 20 minutes is still fine, or 15 minutes is still fine. But like 30 minutes seems to be like a sweet spot. It's not too long to still too long a game because you can always get out early, but it's not like too short where like it feels like you're just cycling games. And then in this section, they need to add some sort of randomized dungeon event, like goblin has spawned over here and he's got treasure, go kill him, like a Diablo 4 or Diablo treasure goblin or whatever. Or this boss is now roaming through this part of the dungeon. It will just come up as like a notification on your screen, like go kill it and you get extra AP. Or some fucking boss has now spawned and is roaming this area, and then like a boss would just kind of roam the map and you'd see it like on the mini map. I think that would be interesting. Or like X vendor has appeared in the map. Go talk to him and you can buy a golden key or some like random thing like that, right? I think that would be interesting to add to the game. And then like I think they need to add like quadruple the amount of like playable races. This literally should take like 2 minutes. Like it should literally take 2 minutes. You literally go to the Unreal store, you go to Unreal Assets, you literally just go I spelled that wrong, but you know. You just search Dungeons and Dragons races. Oh, this is not what I'm looking for. But yeah, you get the point. You just go to the Unreal Engine store and you literally just download the models. It takes like 5 minutes. I've fucked around it in Unreal Engine. These guys are smarter than me. You just literally download the model, you rig it to the pre-existing animations that you have. Bob's your uncle. They could have every race of this game in like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. It would not take that long for them to download all these models. To add a couple little buffs and negatives to it, +2 strength, dexterity, whatever. I think they should, personally, I think they should make those way more applicable, or like way more like, not applicable, sorry, but way more impactful. Like I think these should do like way more. Like I think if you take an elf, you should be getting like 5 agility or like 10 agility, something like crazy, and then like a big negative. I think like that would be way more interesting and would add way more uniqueness to the game. Like lizards, they can't wear pants and they can't wear a head, but then they get like more armor. You know what I mean? I think that they have an opportunity to make these more impactful. But I'm also cool if they choose to take away all the impact and just make it a cosmetic thing. But I think they need to really be adding that because it's like such a low hanging fruit for like free content. It's like so easy for them to implement, and then they just I don't know, they don't want to for some reason. So yeah, it's something very easy. I think they need to add more shrines into the game. I think that'd be cool if there was like an invis shrine that made you invis for like 30 seconds or something like that. Kind of like a rogue thing if you crouch walk or whatever, or like a gold shrine so you hit it and then every time you kill a mob you get like a shit ton of gold or like more luck, or any sort of random shrine thing. I think they need to just add like shrines in the game that don't only spawn one type of upgrade. So like the little cylinder heal shrines get turned into like all the shrines have the same base, and then just like a random like, okay, if it's this color it's this, if it's this color it's this. So like there's no like, oh, I'm going to the heal shrine or I'm going to get the power shrine. It's I'm going to the shrine, and maybe it's something that's useful or not useful for your given moment. And then I think they need to stop making like map specific areas, like ice walls on the ice map. There's a couple double jump spots on the ice map that give you lion's heads if you're like a rogue. Shit like that needs to get out of the game. Anything that's like a class specific thing on a map needs to be removed. Like it doesn't feel fun to be able to not get past ice walls on certain classes. And then yeah, if they keep AP rewards, There needs to be like, um, they've already kind of addressed this for now in the testing, but if they don't want to keep this whole like looted items from players, I don't know that they will. It seems like it's not that big of a deal, so I'm sure they're gonna keep it. But like this was, I kind of have thought of this before, but like yeah, um, if they decide to go back to the handled items, they just need to make it so like if you kill a mini boss, all the items that are handled in your inventory, or a actual boss, all the items in your inventory that are handled just automatically turn to get looted. It just cleans them. That would be a simple way to solve the problem and keep it the way they want. Looted items need to be worth as much as trinkets. I think that's another thing. If they're gonna keep the AP system, they just need to make trinkets and loot the same values. Like it shouldn't be like a discrepancy between the two. They shouldn't. You should never have to be prioritizing some worthless piece of junk in comparison to an item. I think if they're going to keep the AP system as well, I think kills should permanently reduce the amount of AP you lose if you die. So let's say your buy-in is 1,000, you kill 5 people, you got 500 points, and you die. You should only lose 500 out of your 1,000 buy-in. I think kills should always reduce the total amount of buy-in that you paid for at the start of the game when you get them. It incentivizes PvP. It makes people want to play the game more. And then if you die, it doesn't feel like a piece of shit death. Like you're salty as fuck, and for like 2 hours, it's just it seems like a simple solution if they keep this AP system. I prefer they go to the other system that I mentioned, but if they keep this, it should be like that. Killing bosses needs to give way more AP, and looting the horde needs to be faster. Like way faster. Like that shit is just It's almost not even worth it to go for the horde on some classes like Barb, especially if you're not building action speed, because it's like just super cancer. Like you kill the boss and you're in the horde. The horde should take like half the amount of time, or even less than it did, or even quicker than that than it took you to kill a boss to loot the horde. I shouldn't be spending 5 minutes at a fucking horde. Okay, it's just cringe. And then like I think there should be more specialty rooms too, like skull key rooms and gold key rooms. And I think they need to find other ways for you to be able to store your gold that don't involve skull keys being the thing. I know skull keys are like expensive because there's a chance to get unique items, and like I think they just need to basically get rid of that shit. Um, oh fuck! Thank God. My bad, boys. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Um, yeah. So any sort of like extra rooms or quest items need to be just added to the game. Like I think if you kill like a certain amount of bosses, you should just be able to create. Like if you kill like 100 or like 50 skeleton champions, they should just like you should be able to combine something that you picked up from each one of those, a one slot piece of shit trinket that you could combine to make like a skeleton key or something like that. Skeleton keys obviously have value because they can drop uniques, but I think more places need to be able to drop uniques. And I think there needs to be more specialty rooms that they can add to the game and to randomize the dungeon. I think the trinket values, if they're going to keep this system, or any values of any items like that for gold, need to be way more uh, tightly knit, like the value. So you don't have to like drop like water pot shouldn't be worth like the water pot should not be worth like 3 times less than like getting a gold bowl or something like that. It's just stupid. It should be all uniform. It's like blue trinket, no matter what size you pick up, should be the same value. If it's a 4 slot, it should be the same value as 4 1 slots. If you want to do like a little bit of like spread, because like gems are gems and then gold is gold, whatever, okay, fine. But like a diamond is worth like 13 more AP than the lowest trinket or more. And it's kind of like really silly when I'm sitting there in the dungeon and I'm trying to min max my points because if I don't, I might go negative to like drop specific items. Like it should just be way more uniform. Um, and then yeah, I don't think you should ever be losing AP if you do everything in the dungeon either. Like if you do all the stuff that they want you to do, kill players, kill the boss, kill mobs, get loot, you shouldn't like really be punished that much at all. And then like there's a bunch of map issues. Uh, Ice Map 2 needs to be released, obviously. Floor 2 for... I think there should be a Floor 2 for Everchild. There should be a Floor 2 for Goblin Games too and all that. Nobody wants 3 floors either because no one is ever going to get to 3 floors. 99% of the time, only one team or one person, unless you're playing solos, makes it to the second floor anyway. So they need to just get rid of this idea of 3 floors. There needs to be 4 maps, 2 floors each, on rotation, and that's that. Problem solved. The ice map mob aggro and the kobolds are just unbelievably cancer to play against. Um, that shit's got to be fixed. I don't think the ship should be like aggroing on you through walls or from up and down layers, and it shouldn't even be aggroing from across the room either. The aggro range should be like max 3 meters, and I mean max. That's it, and it should be like one, because constantly you're aggroing them through walls. Then they're camping on doors, and you break a door, you go through a door, and the mob is just right there. You can't even tell that he's there. Bunch of other issues where like something will aggro on you after you've already left the room 5 minutes later and then like block a door and get you killed. It's really annoying. The Wendigo moveset needs to be updated and it needs to be way more consistent. Every time I play against Wendigo, it goes in one of two ways. Either I kill him in 2 hits because he just claw swipes me twice, or he charges 500 times in a row and I can never hit him. And it's really fucking annoying. I think they need to fix the Skeleton Axeman, revert the change. I don't think this jumping to the left thing is good. Um, Especially on the ice map. In particular, there's like a few rooms where you can just jump to your death. Middle bottom, where it's like a double tile, is particularly annoying because they place the Skeleton Axeman all over that room, and that room is full of catwalks, and then instant death if you jump in a tunnel or jump into the hole. And if you have to jump to the left and you're on a catwalk, and to the left of you is a to dodge the skeleton, and to the left of you is a pit where you instantly die. I think this is bad mob design or bad map design. Either one, either remove all the skeletons from that map that have access, or simply revert the change so you can just crouch and dodge it. I don't think this should be this weird. I have to jump, and not only do I have to jump, I have to jump to the left in order to dodge the skeleton axeman swing. Otherwise, I auto take damage because of the map position and the skeleton. It just seems stupid. Like, people are gonna say like, oh, skill issue, or just lure him away. No, it's not feasible all the time. It's just stupid. Not even so much as it's stupid. It's just annoying. And I don't think they should ever make things purposefully annoying to like to progress the game, right? So like that to me is just silly. And then like yeah, I don't know why they want to remove cheese spots when all the mobs don't seem to function properly. The Wendigo doesn't function properly. The big shield guy on the ice map can literally hit you from the front and somehow fling you from behind, or like it hits you. It's at the combos. You dodge left if he's putting his shield right, because he's gonna swing. You go back and forth. Sometimes even if you dodge the right way, he will over swing and over spin and hit you anyway. So like if the mobs aren't gonna function properly, the berserker's getting randomly infinite combos and there's no like timed limit on how many they can do. It's just like a random number. If they want to get rid of cheese spots, remove the RNG from mobs, and stop letting to my next point, stop letting fucking winged mobs have hitboxes that are so unbelievably big that it just like ruins the game. I really hate fighting wind mobs. There's no way that my legendary Bardiche or my legendary Zweihander shouldn't be one-shotting a fucking Death Skull or any sort of winged unit that's really weak. Just because I'm hitting the wings. It's really annoying. Just remove the wing hitbox entirely from all those mobs. Especially during the Ghost King. Like, the Ghost King Death Skull mobs need to be reworked entirely or just removed from the fucking boss. There's nothing more annoying than when you and your teammate get separated in Ghost King, and the skeleton, the Death Skull just keep going like this, back and forth between you two, ping-ponging, and then they don't ever engage you, and then they happen to engage you at the worst possible time. Either the jump needs to... He needs to jump, do his slam, release the mobs, and then you fight them at the same time, or they need to remove those mobs entirely, or they need to make the mobs commit harder in the boss room rather than ping-ponging between two different people repeatedly, because that shit is just so annoying. I mean, yeah, I personally believe that they should remove all one-shot mechanics from bosses, unless you're just a weak character. Like, if you're like a weak character, someone that's running like sub 90 HP or like 90 HP, and you just get hit by like an attack and you die, okay, I understand, but I don't think they should ever have any like one-shot mechanics. The Ghost King jump needs to be removed, I think. I don't like the stupid circle thing for the Warlord. Any sort of one-shot mechanics, I think, need to be removed from bosses. And it's just like, I don't know why they want something like that in the game, or something that's so game-ending, when they already know, based on like player experience from PvP, like getting one-shot fucking sucks. Even if it's to bosses, it just fucking sucks. it's just not fun to play against, and it feels like you just get cheated. Sometimes you can get cheated by lag. Sometimes you can get cheated by the crouch jump. If you try to crouch jump that, even though you don't technically need to, like if you crouch, sometimes it blocks you from jumping, and then you're like stuck in the crouch animation and you can't jump. So just shit like that needs to be removed from the game entirely. And then a lot of talk about weapon balancing on the subreddit. I think range damage needs to be nerfed. So does everybody, for the most part, that isn't playing ranged. But I think it needs to. There's like three solutions to the problem of range damage. So like if we were to kind of map it out, it looks like this. Here's the solutions, and then here's like the thing. Okay. So you have we'll call it like solution one, solution two, solution three. Okay. Solution one is to just 50% damage nerfed or more, like all the damage is flat nerfed by 50%, and then like add some sort of like um skills that help the ranged players deal with getting caught in melee. Okay, so like that's solution number one, because no one wants to, you're not just gonna nerf the damage by 50% or more and then like all the range players are just gonna bitch. So add some sort of skill, some sort of thing that will help them combat with melee damage in front. Solution two is reduce the damage by 50% when you're in like a 6 meter radius. So like if this is the ranger guy here, right? That's a really poorly drawn person. Outside of the 6 meter range, here across the tiles, 100% damage. So that way, if they catch you and they keep you at a distance, they're doing 100% damage. If you get out on them, now they can't kill you. So as long as you're in on them, you win. Now that will lead itself to more cutting gameplay styles, but that's only one of the three solutions. I think that would be something easy to test. And then the other test is same sort of solution, 6 meter radius, except for when they're outside of the 6 meter radius, it's 50% damage. And then when they're inside the radius, you're at 100% damage, or maybe even a little bit more, like it will say like 110% damage. So like if you catch somebody close and you hit your shots close, then they'll do more damage. But if they're really far away, then it doesn't feel bad, like you're just getting shot forever at 100% damage. One of those three solutions, you test all of these, but one of these will work. There's no way that one of these won't solve the problem. But right now it stands range damage. There's too much damage at all levels, and it's just stupid. And it's not fun to play against. The main thing about the game, people seem to forget all the time when they talk about balancing is the game fucking fun now? To be fair, I play Barbarian basically only, so I'm a melee scrub, and my class sucked, and I'm a noob stomper, and blah, 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 all that bullshit that comes from being a Barbarian, like everyone says. But, like, it is so cringe when I one-shot somebody, but it's also really cringe when I can barely even get up people. People always get mad and say, well, Barb is so OP, or this and that dog shit, and they wonder why, like, it's fair for me, the Barbarian, to, like, two-shot somebody. But, like, the thing is, or, like, why I W key, or this, or that, or any sort of bullshit. The problem is if a fight lasts more than 3 seconds on Barbarian, you lose. 90% of the time, you just lose. Because everyone else does more damage than you, more DPS, they have better skills than you, they have better options than you, so, like, you just lose if a fight lasts too long. So you gotta really end your fights fast. This will curb some of that, and so will and then you can tone some other things down or whatever you gotta do to fix some of the other balancing issues afterwards. But yeah, that's like mainly the main issues. So ghost hitting on weapons, yeah, obviously ghost hitting on weapons is really bad. Like if you play Bardiche and you swing your weapon normally, like this comes down overhead, no problem. Then your guy will pull back the Bardiche. You won't hit the wall, but then as you extend to poke somebody, you'll hit the wall from behind. That shit needs to be removed from the game or fixed. Same thing with, like, a lot of people complain about the stiletto, that it's been busted forever. Some other weapons, getting ghost swinging are really annoying. That shit needs to be fixed. I don't know how many times they gotta say it, but that shit needs to be fixed. I don't know how they are gonna do it. I don't know what all the weapons are that do it. I know stiletto is a prominent one, and the Bardiche is definitely right up there. Like, this shit hitting the wall like that is very stupid. And then, yeah, so they need to nerf daggers, books, and all one-handed weapons. Like, simple as that. I know it sounds like a bar bitching because I can only use two-handed weapons, and it kind of is, but, like, That shit needs to be nerfed. All the damage, like during multiclassing, it was really prevalent because like you just pick Rogue and take Roar, or take Slayer and take Roar, and you just win every engagement because your DPS is so high, and then you take no damage. But like, yeah, they need to just really, 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 really nerf daggers and one-handed weapons and books. Specifically, if they don't want to nerf the damage, I think the swap speed to pulling out these weapons is way, 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 way too short. Most of the time when you Diamond Barb, here's what happens. You're chasing a rogue or something like that, and then he, like, you have to pull your weapon away because you're too slow with your weapon out, and then he simply pulls out his weapons in half a second and stabs you twice and then puts them back. I mean, unsheaths them, or stabs you twice, sheaths them, and then runs away. And all that is before you can pull your Bardiche ones, especially if you're not building decks. I tend to build a lot of decks, so it doesn't happen to me as often. But even still, with my mass 80% equip speed, it happens to me often. So, like, that shit, nah, fam. That shit's gotta go. Like, they need to nerf that into, like, the fucking floor. Same with books. Other one-hand weapons, like fighters that are using, like, Slayer will pull out their Falc and their second dagger faster than you can pull out your two-handed weapon, despite you being stronger and even having more decks than them. That shit needs to fucking go. Then there's the whole move speed thing. I think daggers, and specifically rapier, buckler, but daggers and books in general, need to have like another -10 move speed on all the stuff. I think they need to be way slower. Like, way slower. That shit's just gotta be fucking just nerfed. Like, especially the buckler. The buckler is like, I know it's a skillful engagement or a skillful parry weapon, but like 13 minus move speed for a perfect block shield that can't even be can block Crush Bardiche or Crush Wormmaw, which is like the highest impact powered things in the game. It's just stupid. Like, it's just completely stupid. It's a tiny little fucking aluminum tinfoil shield. It needs to either be way more penalty, or they need to just maybe let you break it with buckler or impact power. And I like the rapier, same thing. Rapier on Bard is just so stupid in particular. Like, -13 move speed for that, and then -13 move speed for the fucking buckler is way too low move speed. 26 minus move speed for like two of the best things in the game to have at all times is just fucking holy cringe. Get that shit out of the game. Now, understandably, if they don't want to nerf those in that way, obviously removing True and Add will help significantly, but like, that's like another talk. But yeah, like, I think that shit needs to be nerfed. Two-handed weapons definitely need some sort of like buff and or love, or if they don't want to buff them at all, maybe give other classes access to other one-handed weapons that don't suck massive cock, like the club or Viking sword, specifically my class. But even like fighters, other than the Falc, like, there's, I mean, sorry, not fighters. I'm gonna say cleric. Like, clerics one-handers fucking suck too, man. Like, they need to make better one-handers for classes like that. Yeah, stats, obviously, for the love of God, remove true damage, get that shit out of the game. It's just stupid. I think they need to remove AR and MR rolls. I don't think people should be able to get 80/80 ever. And then, like, to the side of that, I think they need to add more armors in the game that, like, give you flat magic resistance. Like, they just need way more magic resistance items. And then, yeah, giving more interesting stats would be really cool too. Something like, other than regular interaction speed, could be like weapon equip speed rolls, unarmed MS rolls. So if you have like a pair of pants on, maybe your unarmed MS goes up. Stuff that are like specific to something you're doing in the game, but not so specific that it only applies when you like have like a specific class or anything like that. But like unarmed MS rolls would be cool. So like you could roll move speed, but only if you have your weapon not equipped, or like maybe it's action speed, but if your weapon's not equipped, or whatever it happens to be, right? But like, it would be interesting to see if they could do stuff like that. And then like, yeah, armor times more, armors with base MR. I don't think Barb should be the only class that's getting massive magic reduction, but like, there should be more armors that have base MR rolls. Flat stuff would be interesting too. Like, instead of getting 3 agi on your helmet, what if it was like your helmet gave flat equip weapon faster roll, or flat move speed roll, or whatever, rather than just agility, strength, blah 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 blah. More class only armors would be kind of cool. Like, more class specific armors that give you specific benefits would be interesting. I know there's quite a bit, but like, it'd be way more cool if fighter didn't get the opportunity to use basically every weapon in the game and every armor in the game. Same with warlock, stuff like that. And then yeah, there needs to be massive penalties for removing combat armor in combat, or any sort of thing in combat when you're removing it to go faster. That needs to be either removed from the game entirely, Like you can't remove clothes after you're just taking damage, or it needs to have like way worse times to remove shit. Like the best skill playstyle in the game shouldn't be do damage, remove clothes, run away, move damage, remove clothes, run away. That shit needs to just go entirely. Just fucking get that shit out of the game. So yeah, that's basically my 3 cents. Let me know what you guys think.